Welcome to the 2022 Win for KC Women's Sports Awards presented by Burns & McDonnell. This year, we've got stories of triumph, of giving back, and of women who have literally changed the trajectory of women's sports. Not to mention it's the 50th anniversary of Title IX, that little piece of legislation passed in 1972 that changed the game for women.
50 years ago, Title IX gave us opportunities we never had. Today, we're still fighting for more. We're still fighting for equality, for access, for enforcement, for the future. And we'll continue to fight for us because we know the impact of sports to unify, to strengthen and build, to grow into stronger women, more confident leaders, with broader mindsets and more resilient, courageous spirits. So we come together to win for all of us. Since 1994, Win for KC has provided fitness programs and athletic events in the Kansas City community. Our mission?
To empower the lives of women and girls by advocating
and promoting the lifetime value
of sports and fitness.
Together we stand.
We fight.
We play.
We move.
Today, tomorrow,
and the next day.
Every day forward.
The passage of Title IX created opportunity for women to play, to compete, and since then, girls' participation in sports has grown tenfold. Win for KC exists because Title IX exists. We've been working every day to create the opportunity for girls to play, to learn from and reap the benefits of participating in sports. We're committed to continuing that work this day and every day forward. The Children's Mercy Sports Medicine Center Rising Star Award is presented to a local young woman who demonstrates outstanding leadership qualities, setting and achieving goals, and has made a special impact on the community. Lily Soul is making an impact in this community and beyond.
I'm Lily Soul. I play it forward by giving back to underserved communities. I started playing soccer when I was probably 3. So in 6th grade, a professional soccer player, Max Touloute, was doing a photo shoot, and I was there, and he saw me trying to juggle a soccer ball and then told me how when he used to play soccer as a kid, he'd use crumpled up paper bags for balls, and they didn't have shin guards, and most girls couldn't play. It was kind of just like a shocker to where I wanted to help them play and help everyone be able to have a chance to play soccer safely.
Just because she saw the disparity between the cultures and was like, well, I have soccer kids and I throw them away a year or two later. Instead of just throwing them away, why don't I ship them to Haiti?
When he told me he had to play barefoot, I realized how blessed I was to just have a pair of cleats. And I realized I had multiple, probably 6 pairs. And if I could just give 6 people cleats to help them, I did, and that's how it kind of started.
And so she did some research online and found this Goals Haiti organization, and they were not only happy, but really excited to receive some of her goods.
When you look at the age, you look at her ethnicity, you look at the society in which that we are living now, this is not possible, this is not supposed to be happening. Because everybody's supposed to be focusing on their own corner. Everybody's supposed to worry about their own needs.
Through Lily's League, she's able to see, there is, while a diverse group of folks out there in the world, there's a lot of commonality and a lot of good can come when we all pitch in together.
And people can drop their shoes, shin guards, anything in there soccer related. I set them out at soccer fields, like NSA soccer fields. I set them out there. I set them at soccer facilities, indoor facilities. All over the KC area, I've gotten donations. I've donated around 3,600 items, whether that be soccer balls, cleats, shin guards, water bottles, jerseys.
And that's how we're gonna have a great society. People that just want to help, but not for their own benefit, but because they know that's the right thing to do.
Not that soccer is her identity, but she's used it to show her identity. And she's done it, with Lily's League.
She is great. she will be a tremendous ambassador to the world, not to Kansas alone, not to Little Haiti, everywhere that she goes.
The Kissick Construction Game Changer Award is presented to someone who personifies the true spirit of sport, not as a participant, but as a supporter, promoter, or champion of girls and women in sports and fitness. Mildred Barnes has literally changed the game for women's sports.
I'm Mildred Barnes, and I have loved playing it forward by coaching a number of great athletes and great people.
She helped change the women's game. She was there doing that.
She was held in such high esteem. I mean, she was part of the Olympic program, the development. She was part of the leadership of the AIW formation. Everywhere you turn, you just knew she was at the top of things.
Coach was a big lacrosse player and field hockey. She wrote a book on field hockey.
She had always been involved in her own life, I think, in so many different sports.
But she really took an interest in basketball, and she felt that the girls could play basketball just as well as the guys could.
I was on the basketball rules committee, and at that time we were trying to make the transition from the 6-player game to the 5-player game.
The committee, their feeling was that, well, that's a lot of work for a woman to run up and down the court. And Coach was like, well, they're doing it on a football field playing lacrosse and a field hockey field.
So I worked very hard to try to push us towards the 5-player game. So I had started writing that book on 5-player game. My book was the first one out.
I had a woman who was assigned to coach us, but had never, coached, and she was one of the examples that would run in and read Millie's book.
When it came out, we were still playing for her. To several of us, it's like, this woman just put all of our plays in this book. And she's selling our whole playbook to the world.
When I arrived at UCM, they had some pretty good ball players.
She understood the recruiting part of it. She understood the training. She understood just the whole gamut of being successful as a college athlete.
While we were a small university, we played all of the big guns.
KU, K-State, MU.
Iowa State, Iowa, Minnesota, Indiana. Coach wanted real women's basketball, and she went to wherever we could find it.
Since Title IX has come into place, women's sports has exploded.
What Millie did behind the scenes, so many people will not know. How she forged and pushed, for Title IX, how she pushed for scholarships, for equality.
We need to continue to make every effort to allow gals to have the same experiences that boys have.
In 1976, Coach Barnes was head of the selection committee for Women's USA Basketball.
We kind of hustled to find a way to get players together and form a U.S. team. We had never had one.
When the team was selected, Coach was like, what a better place to train was at Central Missouri.
I think we had a couple of hundred players come to the campus to try out for the team. There's no picking out who you want. It's who can play and who will fit into the scheme that you're playing and who will conduct themselves as you would like a U.S. player to do.
She was really on the forefront of changing the women's game for the better.
You have to be on the shoulders of champions, and Millie Barnes is not only a game changer, she's a career changer for women all over the world.
She was a trailblazer, not only for the sport of basketball, but for all women in athletics, in sports.
A lot of people have done the same thing I've done, I'm sure, and have the same feelings toward the game and the way it should be played and the way you treat players. So if I'm considered one of those, I'm very happy about that.
The Hallmark Leadership Award is presented to an inspirational female leader who best exemplifies the characteristics of a mentor to female athletes of all ages. And for Kiki Blackman, leadership is what you do in moments of adversity and in life.
I'm Kiki Blackman. I play it forward by being the best version of myself every single time that I come in the presence of my players. I'm riding around Lawrence, Kansas with Lynette Woodard. She says, hey, Kiki, you need to go play football. 26 years old. Me wanting to know my why. Why? She said, because you love to compete. I said, you doggone right I do. You get to compete, man, I get to hit people. She said, yeah, you do. You'll be great at it. So that's how I got into football. I'm K-coach for the Kansas City Glory. Love that team, love that organization. Also coach at Olathe East, boys, freshman football, and JV girls basketball.
We were lucky enough to bring Coach Blackman on here as a coach 2 years ago. She was introduced to us by Coach Porter, who we had just recently hired as our head football coach.
Her passion, she shows it every day at practice. She shows it in the game. She's 100% in at all times.
Coach Porter had some relationship and past coaching experience with Coach Blackman. And so he said, you know, Dr. Stoppel, we got to get her on board.
I stepped into the role like I belong here. And I'm gonna give you everything I got. And this is what I bring to the table.
Kiki was one of the people I actually first reached out to. I knew she was a great coach. I'd seen her coach.
From the moment I met her, though, after Coach had interviewed her, I said, oh my gosh, this is a great hire. And not just for football, because she has been an assistant girls basketball coach for us as well here at Olathe East.
Just love sports in general. Just sports brings the world together, and that's what I'm all about.
She's just overall like a very good person and probably one of like the most supportive people I've met.
And when she had come up and started talking to us and told us everything, I knew she was gonna be good coach.
She mentioned that she was in like the Women's Hall of Fame, and I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, you weren't joking.
The fact that she played for the USA team, won a medal.
I won a gold medal in 2013 for this country, and it's one of the best things I've ever done, to go out and be able to represent such an amazing group of people, an amazing group of women that inspire me every day to this day.
Hallways at Olathe East High School were at times a sea of red, all in support of a football coach who died last night. Olathe East High School coach Chris Burnett passed away.
This year's brought a lot of challenges, and one of those was having a coach and a staff member pass away.
He was, and still is, one of the most influential people that ever stepped in my life, spoke to me, still is.
Coach Blackman was a very important component of that in the grieving process. She was able to be there for our student athletes, but then she was also able to lead in a time of grief.
He always said, Kay, give your heart. You always give your heart.
She's not afraid to do anything with the kids. She's ready to teach you how to block, and you better be ready too.
I don't see a difference in men and women. I see athletes. I see their heart.
Her legacy is inspiration. I mean, she refuses to allow hardship to get in the way. She refuses to allow excuses to get in the way.
I'm just me, you know? I'm just a little girl from Arkansas wanting to be great, and now I'm finding avenues and getting on the right bus to be great.
The UMB Lifetime Sportswoman Award is presented to a local woman, 55 or older, who demonstrates outstanding leadership qualities, encourages participation of girls and women in sports, and still engages in athletics. Terry Miller, well, let's just say she puts the life in Lifetime Sportswoman.
I'm Terry Miller, and I play it forward by giving back to the sport that has been so good to me. I don't know why it was tennis. It's just that I fell in love with it when I first got a racket. Loved the tournaments. I love competition. I hate to say this, but I wanted to win.
She has the same passion and dedication for tennis that she had for her almost 50 years of teaching school.
I taught in Shawnee Mission for 47 years, and I taught 7th grade math in the same school for all that time. I'm someone who loves to teach. I like to see the improvements. I like to see the enthusiasm that they have with whatever it is that they wanted to know about, whether it was teaching math or teaching tennis.
Terry's an unbelievable advocate for the sport of tennis. She just loves being on the court. She loves teaching the sport, and she most importantly loves organizing the sport.
Terry is the first and only coordinator there's ever been in USTA Heart of America.
The league started in 1980. It started from nothing to like over 2,000 people or so now.
18 and over leagues, there's 40 and over leagues, there's 55 and over leagues, there are 65 and over leagues.
So many leagues, so many captains to deal with, so many clubs to deal with to get matches scheduled for each season.
It's a very large task that Terry took on early and has continued to grow and mature.
You start to add all that up together and all the phone calls and emails and text messages. Well, maybe not the text messages because she probably doesn't do that.
Don't send Terry any pictures because Terry has a flip phone. The leagues have progressed. We have become more computerized, but Terry believes in the old school, doing everything manually because it means the most to her that way.
It's paper and pencil. I think the old school has made me sharper and not have to rely on something else that I may not have at hand when I really want to know the answer.
She does it the old-fashioned way. I think that's kind of cool. I would say that the number of people that Terry has impacted has got to be in the many thousands.
To see the joy that people have from that, to me, has made it very, very rewarding. That's the way I felt about teaching math, too. It was about them. It was about the people on the tennis court.
She's really accomplished as a tournament director, and people respect how she schedules a tournament, how she communicates with the players.
She's the first one that gets there in the morning, like 7 a.m. She's the last one to leave.
We're just talking about literally thousands of hours. I think that's so impressive.
I really don't even try to put the hours down on it. I came from a family, you say you're gonna do it and you're gonna do it, and you'll get it done.
She just loves to be out there. And sometimes when I go practice on some courts, I'll see her next to me. She's out there hitting to people.
She still teaches tennis lessons, so she still has her own clients and things that she works with on a weekly basis.
And proud of that I can continue to do that, even though I can't play anymore, that I can still feed balls and make people happy about what they're doing. I'm just grateful that I'm able to bring some happiness to some girls and boys, just to make them happy and have a good time.
Like most of us in the game, we want to give back to a sport that's been very good to us.
She just really loves the sport and what it brings to people.
I never dreamed when I was 14 and started playing that I would be doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy the people that are out there and playing, and I love to see their enthusiasm.
The Locked in Courage Award is presented to a local woman or girl who redefined barriers despite physical or mental challenges, has overcome tremendous obstacles, or has made a significant comeback in life and sports. Rachel Rhodes is redefining barriers in all kinds of ways.
I'm Rachel Rhodes, and I play it forward by finding gratitude and joy in the movement that I can do in the moment.
She's a badass. I think that's probably one word that comes to mind. Just an overall summary of her.
Whenever I was in high school, I was a fit girl.
She was involved in gymnastics, softball, basketball. She was a cheerleader at one point, weightlifting. She was involved on the track team.
I was just really active and enjoying life. My junior year, I was in a really traumatic car accident, and I had a lot of injuries to the tissues in my right leg, and then also my best friend passed away in the accident.
It left her pretty emotionally and physically scarred.
I spiraled into a super deep depression. I lived for my next cigarette, I lived for my next drink, I lived on caffeine. Basically, I had just given up on life, and I was doing whatever I could to make it through the next moment. It was whenever I made the decision to become a nurse that I recognized that I could do hard things. And so that was whenever I started running with the goal of running my first 5K.
It was like she was reintroduced to an old friend.
It brought me back to life. I didn't recognize what I had been missing out on by not being involved in sports. The 5K turned into a 10K distance, and then I completed the Seattle Marathon. And I just started to really love myself and love life. And I wake up one morning, I went to walk across the house to the bathroom so I could start getting ready for the day. And I felt like I was in a fun house instead of being in my home. And we rushed to the emergency room. The doctor came in to the room to give me the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. And I remember just wailing. I had a life planned out, full of activity and full of like rich moments. And I knew that that might be compromised. The nurse asks you every morning what your goal for the day is. I told her it was to be a badass. That has been my goal since diagnosis, is to show up every day like a total badass and do everything I can to not accept a future that I don't consent to.
Getting hit with MS and seeing her body degrade, and then seeing the challenges that she was going through mentally as well, you know, it was really hard.
She went from a person who was like a really active lifestyle to like nothing in a matter of months.
It was a really big shock, I think, to her life.
My body was so weak. Treatment was so hard on me. I wrote a letter to my children saying goodbye because I truly did not know if I was going to make it.
I know that she wrote that note, that she said that she wrote. It was a note, pretty much, in case she passed away, that my stepdad could give to me and my siblings.
At the end of the first year after my treatment, I was very, very depressed. And I had to start moving my body again because there's so many benefits to our physical, mental, and emotional health to just moving our bodies. I started going to physical therapy, and so they had an entry to give away for the women's triathlon, TRY-athlon, and I ended up winning that entry. And I'd never done a triathlon. Well, I don't even own a bike, but I'm gonna do this triathlon. And it was the most empowering, amazing event that I've ever done in my life. And that gave me so much inspiration to say, okay, I did something that was hard for me, so what can I do next?
And if she sets a goal, she's gonna see it through.
She doesn't do stuff halfway. She's a badass.
That feeling of I did that, like me, I did that. The chubby mom that lives in the suburbs that's busy with the kids, I showed up and I put in the work. Like, you just want to feel it again.
The BKD WOW Award is presented to an individual or group in the community who's made an outstanding impact on women and girls in sports. And there isn't a more fitting person to receive the WOW Award than Ray Pond.
I'm Ray Pond, and I play it forward by elevating hope.
She's always been an advocate for women's basketball. She's always been an advocate for women.
They said she put an invisible sport and she made it visible to the world.
I was her first athlete. She was behind the scenes pushing to ensure that we got the same treatment as the men.
She has always been there pushing these women forward and pushing the narrative that there is a place in America for professional league and for these special young women.
From the Women's Basketball League to the American Basketball League to the Women's Basketball Association. She's been the guardian angel of all of those leagues.
The United States has the best women's basketball team in the world.
We knew that we had something. We really did. And it was magical. And then, of course, they win the gold medal. We felt like we were part of the movement in women's sports.
When it came to promoting the USA Women's Olympic team, that basketball team really was a stepping stone to starting the WNBA.
I think time was changing, but I think Nike women's sports marketing was a catalyst. You know, we were the catalyst to commercials, community service, appearances, and that helped propel what was going on with the WNBA.
She was an advocate of sorts. She was a marketer of sorts for those women who were playing professional basketball.
I didn't even own a pair of Nikes growing up as a little kid. And now here I am in a position where little girls are walking around with my shoe. They're walking around with my name on their feet.
She didn't just want, the women in the WNBA to be successful, but she wanted us to pull up these younger, talented athletes and give them something to dream about.
Kansas City, Final Four. We brought in Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, brought in the Bolton family. They were singing. We had athletes singing. They had taken Crown Center, put basketball courts on the ice rink, and I bet we had 20,000 people come through there. Kids, they were fired up to meet Cheryl Swoops. They wanted her signature. So when you see that happen, it's magical. It's just amazing.
She was out in the forefront developing, creating, and then matching the correct athletes with these different grassroots events.
Sports is important because of teamwork, leadership skills. It teaches you to overcome adversity, overcome injuries. It's so important. You have to learn how to work together for the betterment of the team and to win championships.
This is about caring about the people who work for you, caring about your athletes on a personal level.
Raypon helped to create a culture of family.
There's an old saying that some people are in your life for a season. And I'm so happy to sit here today and say that I don't think my season with Ray's ever going to end.
I think caring about the athletes as people, not as superstars. They're a part of me. I feel like I'm a part of them. And with each athlete, I can tell you what we've been through. And it wasn't about the basketball court. It was more about the family.
Win for KC is working to empower the lives of girls and women through sports, and you can help us continue that work by donating, volunteering, or supporting our events and programs. Text to donate right now by texting WIN22 to 44321, or visit winforkc.org for more information. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next year.